Alright, check this out guys. We've gone out and bought ourselves a Toyota LandCruiser 200 V8 diesel and a Nissan Petrol Y62 5.6 litre V8 petrol, and we're going to put these two vehicles head to head in a tow test to the top of Mt Hotham, 1,860 metres total elevation with an elevation gain of 1,540 metres, starting at Bright, going right through, towing the LXV 4.7. So we're going to get these vehicles on the weighbridge soon, but right now let's go through the specifications of each vehicle in a head-to-head comparison. Overall height, 1905 mil, with the roof rails 1970 on the Toyota LandCruiser. On the Nissan Petrol we've got 1940, so a little bit lower, but if you put roof rails on this, they're probably a very similar height. Ground clearance on both vehicles, 225 on the LandCruiser, 272 on the Petrol, so the Petrol has more ground clearance. Wheelbase, 2,850 on the LandCruiser, 3,080 on the Petrol, so the Petrol does have a longer wheelbase, and the overall length on both vehicles, 4,950 on the LandCruiser, 5,165 on the Petrol. So straight up, you can see the Petrol is a bigger vehicle, it is wider and it is longer, it sits a little bit taller as well. Now, let's go into the curb weight. We've got 2,720 kilos, this is from the manufacturer specifications, 2,708. So even though this is a bigger vehicle, this is coming out lighter according to the manufacturer specifications. Turning circle, 11.8 metres, 12.5. This will obviously turn a bit wider because it has a longer wheelbase. 3,500 kilos towing capacity here, 3,500 here. Both of them are 350 kilos downbore load. And then we get into the GCM, that's gross combination mass. That's a vehicle fully loaded up with the trailer on the back fully loaded. 6,850 on the LandCruiser and 7,000 on the Petrol, so the Petrol can carry 150 kilos more. GVM, gross vehicle mass, that's without a trailer on the back. This is a vehicle on its own. What do they come in at? Fully loaded. The limit you can go to 3,350 on the Toyota LandCruiser, 3,500 on the Petrol. So straight away, Petrol can carry more weight. All right, engine specifications again, 4.5 litre twin turbo V8 common rail diesel, 5.6 litre naturally aspirated V8 petrol in the Petrol. Now, torque, 650 Newton meters in the twin turbo diesel, 560 in the V8 petrol. Maximum power kilowatts, 200 kilowatts in the Toyota LandCruiser, 298 kilowatts, almost 300 kilowatts in the Nissan Petrol. Now, suspension-wise, the LandCruiser is running a rear live axle with wishbone front independent coil, and this one here is running independent coil front and rear. Tyre size, 265/60/18 in the LandCruiser, 265/70/18 in the Petrol. This is a 31.5 inch overall tyre size. This is 32.6, almost a 33 inch on the Petrol. Now they're both running 18.8s, so that's our two vehicles summed up. Let's get both these vehicles on the weighbridge and see how they really compare. So what we're doing here is we're going to fill these tanks right to the top, right to the brim. Both these cars are empty. All that's going to be in them is fuel. And that one's got rubber mats. And this might sound funny, but I think the rubber mats in the LandCruiser weigh about 20 kilos. All right guys, we've got these vehicles totally filled up. Let's take them to the weighbridge, put them on the scales and see what they come in at with just full tanks of fuel. This weighbridge comes in with 20 kilo increments, so this could be anywhere 20 kilos less or 20 kilos more. But right now we can see we're at 2.9 tonne, and if we check out manufacturer's specification, Toyota LandCruiser, tare weight 2,720. So I would say that is pretty accurate, really, because we've got on board 138 litres of diesel. Now, interesting fact, diesel weighs around 80% of water. So that doesn't equate to 138 litres or 138 kilos. It's probably more like 100, 110. All right guys, we are back with the Nissan Petrol. Let's have a look at this. 2,840. So the manufacturer is saying 2,708. So what's the difference? About 130 kilos? Is that about right? And that's exactly how much fuel we've got in this. 140 litres of petrol, so that would probably equate to about that amount. So manufacturers right on exact with their tare weights. Now that's done, we've weighed the vehicles. Let's go back, pick up the LXV 4.7 Off-Road Caravan, get it hooked onto both cars one at a time, bring them in and weigh it again. We wanted to use this van because it's the lightest of all of our range. It comes in just under 2 tonne, that's tear. We've got some water in it. We're going to weigh this, so let's get this on the weighbridge as well. I've got to change the tow ball. This is the tool you need to get this job done. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to change the 50mm tow ball to the Off-Road Hitchmaster DO35 by Vehicle Components. So this replaces the 50mm tow ball, goes into the standard tow bar. Use our rattle gun to tighten it up. That is on. Move it over. Line it up on top. We wind it down. It's called a self-guiding drop-on. That's what the manufacturer calls it. Then we just lock this. And that is set and ready to go. All right, guys, now we've got this all hooked up. Let's get on the weighbridge and see how much the van weighs. So we are back on the weighbridge, this time with the LXV 4.7. And it's coming in at 5.04, so just over 5 tonne, 5,040 kilos. We're under the GCM, and that's what we talked about before about GCM, gross combination mass. This is 6,850, so we've still got a whole bunch of weight we can still put on there. With this van, we're gonna come in way under it every time. So what we'll do now is we'll drag the LandCruiser forward, we'll disconnect the van, and we'll weigh the van on its own. All right, so we've got the van on the weighbridge. I better stand off it though because I'm adding to its weight. And as you can see, this van, it's full of water. We've got over 200 litres of water in there. We've got some food and supplies for our trip where we're staying tonight in Bright. It's come in at 2,200 kilos. So that's about right on it and exact for the tear weight that we advertise this at 1,900 kilos. Got the Nissan Petrol hooked up with the LXV 4.7. We're on the weighbridge, and this vehicle with this van comes in at 100 kilos lighter than the 200 series LandCruiser. All right, we've got all our weight sorted. Let's get these vehicles back to the factory, hook up our other van, which is going to be our base station, and get to Bright, where we're going to stay tonight and set up for tomorrow's trip to the top of Mt Hotham. So we are here in Bright, and tomorrow we'll be towing the LXV 4.7. We thought it'd be good to show you what this van is, what it's all about, how it came into play, etc. So for us, the LXV 4.7 is an off-road caravan. We only manufacture off-road products. And what off-road means to us is it needs to hit 4 criteria. It can't just hit one. It can't be lifted up and look like it's off-road and have good departure angles and ramp over, which this all has anyway. But it must hit a few other criteria. So number one is strength and no fatigue through corrugations. So in this van we don't use any wood anywhere. There's nothing that can rattle apart. All of the cabinets inside are made completely of aluminium carcasses that we manufacture in-house at Mountain Trail. The walls are a composite material. They're actually European. The skin's from Italy, the core's from Germany. We CNC router cut all that in our factory in Albury. And the best thing about this is the insulation as well. But as far as fatigue goes, it can't move. It's not built like a normal caravan. It's a one-piece sidewall, one-piece roof all the way over, one piece on the other side, and same with the floor. So you're not going to have any movement in that. And with the aluminium cabinets in there as well, it all holds together. So no fatigue through corrugations is something that's very, very important. And secondly, dust ingress. Dust ingress can ruin a trip. Most manufacturers don't know how to handle dust, but we do. So what we do with these vans is we pressurize them. And as soon as you plug it into the vehicle, there's an automatic bilge blower that goes off. It's pulling fresh air, about 300 cubic litres of fresh air per minute. forcing through the van, and even when you close the door you can feel the air coming out. So when you're towing, the vehicle is actually braking the air and creating a void behind the vehicle, which is where the air is trying to fill that void. So that's like a suction, it's sucking the air into the void. So it's very important that you have these positive pressurized and no dust comes in. If you're in the outback and you're in bull dust and there's dust everywhere, that dust can completely ruin your trip if it gets into your bedding, into the van, everywhere. So our vans are no fatigue through corrugations, number one. Number two, no dust ingress. And number three, it's got to be completely standalone off-grid. So we have lithium batteries, LED lights, solar on the roof. It can charge through AC, which is 240 mains power, DC while you're driving, and then obviously solar while it's sitting around stationary. We have charging systems, battery management systems. We're using very low consumption power sources. Our hot water is powered by diesel, not by gas. If you put 15 litres of diesel in the front tank of this, you can make it 6 weeks out back without having to put any more diesel in. That's showering and washing the dishes every day. And just to touch on it again, the fourth thing is it's got to be very well insulated. So with this European composite panel all through the walls, roof, floor, double glazed windows, double glazed skylights. You know, in Australia the temperatures can vary quite a lot. You can have temperatures at 38 degrees during the day in the outback, right down to freezing at night in some locations. So it's really important that you can go in here and have a well insulated van and use it all year round. And then we've also brought over our work truck. This is the Mountain Trail RV work truck. We use this to get all of our gear to and from shows. We put gazebos in the back, flags, banners, A-frames, the whole office setup all goes in here. And this, just talk about it for a second, this is an American vehicle designed as a tow vehicle. It's a 6.7 litre Super Duty turbo diesel, big powerhouse. We use it a lot to tow vans all over the place. So let's get excited and get out there tomorrow. Alright guys, so it is the next day. We have stayed in Bright overnight. We've had a great night last night, pretty quiet though, got to bed early, and we're excited about what's going to happen today. We're about to take the LandCruiser and the van, we're all hooked up, ready to go. We're about to take it to the service station, top it right to the top and get the trip underway. Alright guys, so we're going to fill this right to the brim again. Wait for all this frost to go down. Then we're going to take this vehicle, we're all hooked up, we're going to start right here in Bright at the service station, and we're going to go through Harrietville, right up to the top. Probably stop at the top, maybe have a look around, get a bit more footage while we're up there. And then it's going to be epic up there. Today's an absolutely beautiful day. Yesterday was a bit smoky, but today it's nice and clear. The views will be absolutely stunning from the top. And then we'll come back down and we'll do exactly the same and fill this right to the brim again. All right, that is absolutely to the brim. This is going to be really interesting to see what happens. Let's get the show on the road. We have just left Bright. We're on the outskirts of Bright into the 80 zone. We're just going to cruise on this trip. We're not going to push the cars too hard, but we're not going to go slow either. We are going to drive to the speed limit pretty much all the way. This is Kenny on board. Kenny's in our video crew, one of the team members there. So Kenny's in the car with me. We'll get some shots on the way up. I just thought I'd talk about this vehicle while we're in it. This is we've always had a 200 series LandCruiser in our vehicle fleet. Getting to and from shows, testing, R&D, we've always used one of these vehicles. This is our third one over the past 8 years. The last one we had, Heidi actually wrote it off in a video shoot, which was kind of interesting. On camera, the whole thing was recorded. She did a creek crossing and went too deep, and the car just didn't come out. The water was over the dash. She was sitting in here. She said the water's coming up. It's over my legs. So. It was only about 3 months old too, so lucky the insurance paid on that. So anyway, having a vehicle like this, I mean, you can hear it driving. It feels awesome. It really does. It sits on the road. You can hear that turbo kicking in right now and just progressing up to 100 kilometers an hour. You can feel the torque of this motor, and it just feels so solid and safe on the road. We've got the van on the back. So overall, I think this weighted, the whole thing here is over 5 tonne. It's just a solid car. And one thing, the only complaint that I would have about it is because I'm a tall person. I'm 6'5", and this car I can just fit in it, just fit in the car. I always have the seat down all the way as far as it'll go and back all the way. And as you can see, my hair is just touching the roof here. So, but you know, once I settle into it and get, you know, comfortable, and I can do long trips in it, and apart from my hair touching the roof, but my hair's up a bit anyway, but apart from that touching the roof, it is pretty comfortable. And here we go, we're going up now. So this is where the climb starts. Kosciuszko is about 200 metres higher, so what's that, about 600 feet? So this is a very high mountain. It's a great ski resort. So hazardous area. This road is really popular for cyclists as well. Cyclists like to ride up, it's quite a challenge. So now the engine, you can feel the torque in the motor now as we're just going to try and hold this speed. You can hear that twin turbo diesel and the torque coming out of it. So it's not dropping gears. This is a 6-speed automatic. I'm just going to drive it in the standard auto mode. I'm not going to go Tiptronic or use the levers to change gears. I'll just leave it in this auto mode all the way up. I'll do the same with the Petrol as well. So this fuel consumption test that we're doing between the Nissan Petrol and the Toyota LandCruiser is probably not really fair to the car manufacturers because we're climbing such a high elevation. And you know, the numbers, I know we're going to roll back down pretty much, but I think the numbers will be higher than what they advertise them at, simply because we're hauling, you know, 2 tonne behind us, overall 5 tonne, all the way up 1,500 or 1,500 elevation gain, so up to the top of 1,860. So I would assume, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think that the numbers will be higher, like the litres per 100, once we work it all out when we get back. Halfway up, so it's been windy. The cruiser has, you can tell we've got a load on board. It's actually quite steep back there, you know, like that's floored right now, that is to the floor. So you can, this is quite a steep pitch, and we're halfway. So we're going up CRB hill. It says engage low gear, so I'm just going to see if I can hold the vehicle at this speed. 60 k's an hour, 3,000 revs. Yeah, it's pretty torquey. Hey Heidi, Kenny and I were just talking that we might get our road bikes out and cycle up this hill next week, towards the end of the next week. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Maybe you should get yours out and ride up as well. What do you reckon?
No.
Just a little bit? Just ride some of it? Just ride some of it?
No.
No for you?
No for me.
Good is that? Guys, we have just made it to the top of Mt Hotham, 53 kilometers all the way up. We're here, it is windy, a little bit colder, and we're about to turn around and head straight back down the mountain and fill up our vehicle and see how much it consumes. wait to see the results, what this is going to be. I think what we'll do is we'll fill this right to the brim, we'll go back to the base camp, and we'll get the receipt and go through the results. That is full. Don't look. All right, I've got the results. Exactly 108 kilometers return. Equals divided by 3.43 divided by 108 equals divided by 108. So we've done exactly 108 k's leaving Bright all the way to the top of Mt Hotham and back. We used exactly 23.43 litres. So if we divide that by 108 kilometres and multiply it back by 100, the average fuel consumption on the 200 series LandCruiser was 21.69 litres per 100 k's. So the fuel consumption on this I think was pretty good, 21.69, so 21.7 litres per 100 k's. But we did go up a big mountain, you know, it was 1,800 metres up there, 1,500 elevation gain. There were some steep pitches in there. And I think overall towing a 2-tonne van and this, you know, weighing, what did it come in at, just under 3? So I think overall the, you know, 5-tonne loads all up there and back, 21.69 is a good result. Oh look, the car's fantastic. You know, it drove really well all the way up. It's got plenty of power. It's actually really comfortable, this car. You know, when I first got in it, and I get in these cars, they feel a bit like I'm a bit tight. But I settled right into that seat, completely comfortable. Performance was no problem all the way up, even on the way back down with braking. I just wanted to know how it would go and how it would perform under braking, but we had the trailer brakes on the van, and no problem all the way down, completely comfortable, back to 100k zone and straight in. This is a really good vehicle. It's perfect for towing vans up to 3.5 tonne. We're really happy with the LandCruiser 200. All right guys, so we have finished with the Toyota LandCruiser V8 diesel. We've done the fuel consumption test today, up and back, got the results, 21.69 litres per 100k average, which is fantastic I think. And tomorrow we're going to do the Nissan Petrol, but we do have a little bit more time left in the day, and we thought we'd throw this in as a bit of a curveball, and this is what we're going to do now. Stay tuned for our next episode where we take the F250 up the mountain, towing the Alex V 4.7, and we do the Nissan Petrol and give you the results of both of these compared to the LandCruiser. And make sure you click subscribe down below on our YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next episode.